Finland is known for its ice hockey and rally driving prowess, but in the warmer months, they do enjoy playing and watching football as well. Here are the stadiums of the nation's top tier, the Veikkausliiga. Raatin Stadion is, as you may have noticed, situated on an island. Here in Finland there is certainly no shortage of islands. It has around 20 times the number of islands that Australia has, despite being a much smaller country. Finland doesn't have an island named after Christmas though, does it? So, speaking of Christmas, Oulu is just a couple hundred kilometers south of that Santa village. This is the northernmost ground in the league. Anyway, whilst the stadium might be modest, it does have a couple of cool features. I like the use of timber in the roof, and stone elsewhere. Tehtaan kenttä. That name means factory field. Now, I wonder, do you think it has anything to do with this rather large factory here? I guess we'll never know. It was until 2014 owned by the same company that owns the factory, which is a paper mill, by the way. It's now owned by a property management company, not the club itself. Speaking of paper, I think it's been about 6 months since I wrote something down on a piece of paper. Man, I invested all that time and effort into acquiring a pen license in grade 3, and it was all for nothing. Veritas Stadion is situated in the city of Turku. No, the Ottomans didn't get this far north. I believe the town derives its name from a Slavic word for marketplace. It is Finland's oldest city. Speaking of old, this stand here is known as the Olympic Stand, as it was part of the original stadium that was built for the 1952 Olympics. That event was held in Helsinki, but as is almost always the case, the football is held throughout the entire host country. This bad boy here was opened in 2003, and took over the role of being the main stand. That's why they call it the main stand. Jakobstads Centralplan. Most of the 5,000 capacity at this ground is coming from the covered main stand, but there is some exposed seating on the other side. I guess that is for the away supporters? Would they even segregate fans at a small Finnish stadium in a small Finnish town? Don't know. Anyway, the good thing about being so far north is that in the summertime, the sunsets last for ages. But then, of course, in the winter, the sun starts to set before it's even properly risen. So, yin and yang. Or as they say in Finland, Jako and Jakob. They don't say that actually, I just riffing here. Bolt Arena is not the largest stadium in Finland or even in Helsinki, but it is the largest stadium in the league. That is, of course, due to the fact that there is a dedicated national stadium just a stone's throw away. So you saying Bolt Arena is the biggest rectangular stadium in the country? Yeah. But did you hear me? I said, you're saying Bolt Arena is the largest rectangular stadium in the country? Yeah. But like Usain Bolt, like the basketball player? Anyway, when this ground opened in 2000, it was probably the most impressive ground in the country, but I think one or two of the newer grounds have surpassed it. It's still a lovely stadium though. Elsewhere in Helsinki is Mustapekka Arena, which is considerably smaller. The club have spent most of their recent history in the second tier, so they had to upgrade the ground a little upon being promoted for the 2024 season. You see how the roof there is wooden? It looks nice, but it does also mean that it's flammable, and unfortunately last season the main stand was largely destroyed by fire. So the club are temporarily playing at Bolt Arena. Wiklöf Holding Arena is situated in Åland, which is an autonomous region that is part of an archipelago. Like some of the western areas of the mainland, they speak Swedish in these parts. So the locals will greet you with "Hey hey," as opposed to the Finnish greeting, which is of course "Aloha." It means hello and goodbye, don't you know? See, this channel can sometimes be educational. Most of the capacity at this ground is coming from standing room, and not even terracing, just people standing around the perimeter. But I'd imagine you could easily get a seat in the main stand, as this town has a population of under 12,000. Considering that it's a nice stadium, and they've done well to be in the top flight to begin with. Tammelan Stadion. Having opened 2 years ago, this is the newest stadium in the league. Not only that, it would have to be the most distinctive design amongst them. That's why it's won a couple of prestigious architectural awards. It incorporates a significant amount of housing within the stadium, so that's good. However, that's not actually all that unusual nowadays. What is unusual is the uneven distribution of these windows up here, which give the place a bit of a surreal vibe. Which is no bad thing. I love this ground. Oh, I remember this guy. From the Stadiums of Tampere video. I thought he died in that video, but he looks full of vigor here. Are you okay, mate? I thought you died. Yep, he's good. Arto Tolsa Arena. It seems that the Finns sometimes get confused with double letters. Is it arena or arena? I'm the same, to be honest. I can't tell you how many times I've forgotten whether the word tomorrow has a double M or a double R in it. It turns out it has 2 T's. I had no idea. This was another ground that was built for the football at the Olympics. However, this stand over here is a lot newer. It was completed in 2024. It's looking good. Oh, and the Finnish word for arena is actually with 2 E's. It's just that the one we saw with 1 E was in the Swedish-speaking area, which I already said but clearly forgot about in the space of 2 minutes. Väre Areena. Only one side of this ground has any seating. But the one and only stand is somewhat impressive. Well, not impressive, but it's not bad. Everybody sitting in it has a nice elevated vantage point, and the garish colour scheme certainly stands out from the crowd. Well, when there is a crowd, it doesn't stand out. As for the other sides, well, sometimes they're just bordered by mounds of snow. I wonder if the kids are allowed to have snowball fights during the match. You know there's that saying, he brought a knife to a gunfight? Do you reckon anyone's brought a gun to a snowball fight? Oh yes, I nearly forgot about America there for a second. From the outside, OmaSP Stadion is the opposite of Tammelan Stadion. It seems as though the architect was listening to Paint It Black when he or she was designing the facade. I don't blame them, what a great song that is. They obviously switched to Coldplay when designing the interior because they of course have that yellow song. Although it's not all yellow. I suppose the small areas of black represent the deep dark depression they went into after their colleagues found out they were listening to Coldplay. Very evocative. Either that or it's just because the club's colours are yellow and black. You can decide for yourself. Well, actually, they're more like black and gold. So I do think my theory is probably correct. But yeah, this has to be one of the finest grounds in the league. Lemonsoft Stadion. Lemonsoft can either be the name of a beverage or a software company, or maybe they just sell soft lemons? Let's break it down. Well, it's difficult to tell from the logo. I doubt a small brand of lemonade would sponsor a stadium, and I doubt that selling specifically soft lemons would make for a viable business. So I'm going to go with the software company. Whatever it may be, they've put their name to one of the nicer grounds in the league, especially since it was extensively renovated at around the same time that the previous stadium was built. That redevelopment cost approximately 16.5 million soft lemons. A reminder that one soft lemon is equivalent to €1. They're like tethered together, I think. So there you have it. My favourite of the lot would have to be the newly built Tammelan Stadion. I do love architecture that's a bit unconventional, and that's certainly the case here. please consider subscribing if you're new around here. And thanks for watching. Have a good one.